know my reviewer absolutely loved this record. So um,
I'm so glad. I watched it I think when it came out, when I saw the post on
right,
Instagram, and I was really nervous because it was called like Brutally Delicious and I was like, "Oh no."
right. What's been the response to the record? It's been out what since day before Valentine's Day, right? The 13th.
Yeah, yeah. The response has overall been really good. I'm actually really surprised because, as someone new to the scene, you wouldn't think that I would get like great marks because, like the newer you are, the harder it is to impress people. Um, and then
Yes.
once they kind of get an idea of who you are, then they can base it off of what you've already done, but they're going off of nothing. So
Right.
it's been really good.
I know you mentioned that you watched the post that we put out, but how much energy or headspace do you give to those people that may not be, may not like it as much as, Marina did or something like that? Do you give that any kind of credit?
I do. So there was this one review where the essential message was that it was more about my looks than about like the songs or the vocals or any of that.
Right.
And so I've kind of come up with my own little slogan based on that one that
Because
I've
everybody could be a keyboard warrior, right?
yeah, but it still means they listen to the album.
Right. No, 100% it means that. And I don't what the heck was I just gonna ask you? Hold on, sorry, I lost my train of thought. You've called I Am the Enemy a lifetime in the making. Now that it's out, how does it feel having that long delayed record define who you are right now?
Well, so Medusa, the first song written that was not technically written for the album, it was written years ago. That, showed a different, I guess, era within my life. And then every other song was written specifically for this album. So it was interesting to see how cohesive it was with the newer songs. Like Medusa actually fits really well with the rest of them. So I've learned that I have not made much personal growth since then.
Nice. How did you end up with like Joel Hoekstra and all these great guests on your record?
Yeah, so that was a chance encounter. So I went to rock and roll fantasy camp as a camper like many years ago, and
Mhm.
then they were looking for like a logistics coordinator, project manager kind of person, and I got the job. And so I was working for them as basically the one running like the live camps,
Right.
and Joel was a counselor, and so I had to interact with the counselors pretty frequently, and Joel and I started like joking around and stuff, and then eventually I was like, you know what, I'm going to show him a song. And so I showed him the demo of Medusa, and he was like, you just need 11 of these and you have an album.
Wow.
And so I was like, would you help me with that album? And he did. And it is amazing that he took a chance on,
Right.
me. Uh,
He's
and,
a nice
he,
guy.
huh?
He's a really nice guy. He's been on before and
Yeah.
tomorrow or the next day. Yeah.
Yeah. He brought in Chris Collier, he brought in Steve Ferlazzo, he brought in Chloe Lowry, with Frontier's blessing, of course, but
Sure.
he was really the one that was instrumental, so to speak, in getting the group together.
Okay. Let's see. You talk about modern rock with roots. In your head, what does that actually sound and feel like in 2026?
Well, so I wouldn't necessarily classify my album as particularly modern because it's a little more like early thousands. So it's modern rock in the sense of it's not 80s rock, it's not classic rock, it's more of a like pop punk kind of deal. But that, primarily existed in like the aughts. So I do think that the landscape is changing here. Like we're leaning more towards rock again, which is awesome because for a while it was all pop, it was all hip hop, it was all, and now rock is actually making a resurgence, and that's so great.
When you're writing, are you writing with a specific message you want your fans to take away from after listening to you?
um, I mostly write to process things in my life. So the majority of the songs are autobiographical and they're about things that I just was trying to like get through in the moment, and it was mainly an album of acceptance, I guess, and like coming to terms with like, okay, this is my life, this is what I'm doing with it, and the three songs that are not autobiographical are Medusa, All Alone, and Running Out of Time. And All Alone was hard to write because one, it wasn't from my experience, and two, all the lines are so short and I am very wordy. So I had to really scale it back for that one. That was definitely the hardest one to write.
Do you ever feel like you've put too much of yourself into a song? Like, hey, I've been too vulnerable, or I shouldn't have said that, and now grandma's gonna hear that, or somebody down the line?
Sometimes I definitely feel that way about some of the songs that I've intended for a second album. So I'm still in the process of writing that, of course, but so I can always change those lyrics for now. But on this first album, I think I held back a lot actually, which is maybe surprising to some.
Oh, really? Yeah. So when you write those, the ones that are, you know, a little more exposing than others, is it like ripping off a scab every time you play them on stage?
I have never played these songs on stage.
Oh,
Not a
okay.
single one of them. Yeah, so I don't know yet. I will find out.
Are you planning on taking them out on the road?
Yeah. I'm still working on getting a live band together because obviously I can't get Joel, Chris, Steve, and Chloe
Oh,
because
right,
they're all over the place doing their own things and they all
right.
took the time out of their huge busy schedules to record this album. And so, I'm incredibly grateful for that. And I'm not going to ask them to, you know,
Right.
go off of their schedule and just be like, "Hey, I want to do a gig on an unknown album." So I'm working on getting a live band together, though. Probably some local people in like the Boston scene for right now, while I figure out okay, like where can I gig and like who's going to actually show up and that kind of thing. So.
Okay. Let me see what else I had here. Oh, let's see. Let's do some deeper, some more fun questions. Is that all right?
Okay. Yeah.
So let's see. Joy in, let's go here. Does imagining paperwork in the afterlife make writing about it funnier or just more depressing?
Well, so to find paperwork, like
Go
like
ahead.
day job.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, horrible. Yeah, I mean, I have a day job. I love what I do. I'm not necessarily a huge fan of having a life or death situation in front of me at all times.
Right.
So that's what music is for the levity. Um, so
So I am in my alternate life as well. I'm a police dispatcher, have been for like the last
oh.
21 years. So yes, I get 100%
Yeah.
cathartic, as a listener as well and doing this sort of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a case manager at an addictions home for women. And so pretty much every decision I ever make in my job can like make or break these women's addictions.
Right.
Um,
But it's a good
so
way to funnel it all out too, right?
yeah, so I mean, I really love working with them at the addictions home and also I really love getting away from it and doing music.
Right. All right, let's see. Once a song is out in the world, does it still feel like it belongs to you? or is every track a controlled surrender to whatever the listeners project on it?
I like the idea of listeners projecting their own experiences and their own feelings onto the songs. I like the idea that I'm just giving these to you and saying, do what you wish. It is scary to do such a thing. And I think it's really nice when an artist allows you to make your own meaning of their songs instead of over explaining everything and being like, this is exactly what the song is about. So if you don't relate to this, then you don't relate at all.
So you
Um,
must get super surprised sometimes because I'm sure what you're imagining writing in them there on that couch does not look like what people tell you it means to them, right?
Correct. Yes. So there's one song I have, Until I See You Again, that has had that effect on people. People have told me, they've found like, you know, loss of a friend, like loss of a best friend. And it's not necessarily like a death per se. It's just,
Right.
like a relationship that ended. Meanwhile, for me, it's something completely else. So, um, it's really really cool actually seeing people's interpretations. I mean, I'm really into psychology, and so I definitely am analyzing these things as we go.
Nice. No, I totally get that. Well, let's just talk about this then. When you're writing, are you writing songs for the way the songs come across on stage, or are you writing a song for the song's sake and then seeing how it translates, right? Because it's high energy stuff. Do you think about like this is a good breakdown or a place for a jump or anything like that?
So a lot of the like melodic surprises, that you come across are from Joel Hoekstra. He was the one that wrote like the majority of the melodies. I added melodies here and there. Oh, hello.
Oh,
Um,
I got mine sitting behind me.
yes, this is Freya. She likes being in these interviews.
Oh, that's great.
So,
Finally.
um, yeah, so a lot of the like musical components came from Joel. Occasionally, I would change, a melody to make it something a little different than what he had demoed for me.
Right.
And I wrote some of the melodies, like the bridge to Read Your Mind. That was me. And there was the bridge to Remain Unseen. A lot of the bridges actually are me. And then I wrote the melodies to The Light, Until I See You Again. And I think a lot of it is to serve the song. I especially with the lyrics, because the lyrics are really my big thing. Sometimes I'll have a song that I intend to write, that I want to write, and that like I really want to get across.
Right.
And the song just says, no, it's not about this today. So I write, whatever the song is turning into. I let the song lead the way, I guess.
That's all right. So is there anything that you would consider off limits then? Because that could take you down all kinds of paths, right?
Yeah. Well, I just, I mean, because a lot of it is processing, I think my best songs are the ones that I write the fastest. And I think
Really?
that's because, yeah, I think it's because, it's just like a brain dump right onto that page of like, like everything I'm thinking and feeling, and it just happened to be in
Stream of
rhyme.
consciousness kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And there happens to be like repeating sections and things like that, but some of the best songs I feel I've ever written have been the ones that came to me very very quickly.
So are you a journaler then? Are you scribbling all that stuff down so you don't lose the lightning in the bottle?
Oh yeah. Yes, I have so many abandoned notes on my phone of just like, like a couplet or like a verse.
Right.
And sometimes I go back to them, sometimes I don't, but if I'm really struggling to find something to start with, I will go back through my notes app and see what I have, tried to start before and be like, maybe I can continue this.
Right. Was it intimidating playing with those cats? Because, I mean, some of the best, right?
Yes, it was very intimidating, especially because, Chloe Lowry, incredible singer.
Right.
And she had to like kind of like dumb down her voice in order to make it sound like mine. So, and like she did an amazing job too, because she does sound a lot like me when she does her backing vocals on there, which is incredible. It just, shows what a pro she is. But it's just like, oh my gosh, like I'm having this incredible singer as a backing vocalist.
Right.
And then, like Steve Ferlazzo works with Avril Lavigne, and Avril is a great singer. And I'm just like, oh God, he's going to listen to this and be like, why am I even doing this project? uh, Chris has the advantage of being able to edit my vocals, so I wasn't as scared there. If I had anything that was like off pitch, or if I had anything that like could have been extended a little bit, Chris could take care of that.
Right.
So I wasn't as intimidated by that. And then Joel, I'm so intimidated by Joel Hoekstra.
Right.
I mean, he's a great guy. He's so nice. But at the same
Yes.
time, I'm like, nothing
Right.
I
He's one of the
ever
best.
do will be anywhere near as good as what you are used to.
Right. Because he's played with a few different bands.
Oh, yeah, just a couple.
Right. So what's next for you then? Are you if you're not really hitting the road, are you constantly writing music, dropping singles, that sort of thing?
So I am constantly writing. I have written what I think are the next album and maybe like a half of
Wow.
yeah, there's just been a lot to process recently. So
Right.
I've been writing more and more, and I actually am bringing back a couple of songs from like years and years ago, just like I did with Medusa, and like kind of revamping them to fit my current life. And
Is it hard to
those
listen to
songs are,
those?
yes.
Because you've
um,
changed and grown and whatever.
yeah, what's interesting though is that a lot of them are, lyrically still completely relevant. So vocally, I have changed a bit, but lyrically, it's all still there. Um, but so yeah, I'm working on hopefully a next album. I am working on trying to get a band together to do live dates. And while I am in that process, I've been kind of working on trying to get some covers together, partially because no one wants to see a show of a complete unknown only playing originals, right? Like that's just not a thing that happens. But and then I've been thinking about like so one of the suggestions has been try to get on a bill with a band that already has an established audience,
Sure.
so then you don't have to have the pressure of trying to bring everyone in. And so I've been trying to think about, okay, like what kind of acts could I try to open for. And so it's a lot of logistics right now. But
Oh yeah, I imagine so. So I don't know if you can say this or not, but is the talk about the next record with the same kind of musicians, or we don't know yet?
I'm working with Joel for sure.
Oh, okay.
I have no idea if it's going to be Chris, Steve, and Chloe. I have no idea if it's going to be someone completely different in every other position. But I'm really excited about it because some of the riffs that Joel has come up with already are super
Oh,
cool.
you're that far into it.
Oh yeah, we're already working on riffs. We're
Oh,
already
wow.
working on the lyrics, melodies, which is funny because we've been working on this since before the first album came
Oh,
out.
really?
Yeah, I think it's a mutual impatience. I think that Joel is always busy, 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 and
Right.
so when he finds a moment that he can like you know
Is it?
take a second to work on it, he's going to work on it. And meanwhile, I've just been writing nonstop since I wrote the first album. So it's it's actually like decently far along in the process for having just released my album like last
Right.
week. So
Oh, wow,
yeah.
that's great. Do you approach songs with or the albums with a like a certain theme or topic in mind, or they kind of form themselves?
I think they form themselves. Granted, because so much of it is autobiographical, the narrative is essentially this is what I've gone through in my life. But there's no like thought to, oh, I should write about this because that goes along with that.
Right.
It's more of a, I like Get Out Alive, is about like, you know, only the wreck survive, get out alive. So it's for me about just accepting your own like mental illnesses or like symptoms or pathology,
Right.
and just you have to accept it in order to get out alive, right? So that's what that one is for me, and I didn't intend for that to be kind of the theme of the whole album, but I think it kind of is. So
All right, fair enough. If fans want to find you, or viewers want to find you, or listeners, wherever they're picking this up, how can they do so? Can you give us all your socials and that kind of stuff?
yes, absolutely. So I'm not sure what my Facebook URL is because it is different than my handle on every other platform because someone already had Austen Starr
Right.
13. So I'm not quite sure what it is on Facebook, but I know you can search Austen Starr and it has the same profile picture as my Instagram, which the handle for that one is Austen Starr 13, AUSTEN STARR 13. And X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it, is the same thing, Austen Starr 13. I technically have a TikTok, but I haven't been able to upload anything because of various glitches. So I am working on that one. I have a website, austenstarr.com. Again, AUSTENSTARR.com. And if you click the shop button, that'll bring you directly to the Frontiers website where you can get the t-shirts, the CDs, etc. So
All right. So sorry about that little glitch in the middle. I'm just firing up, and I don't know. I just kind
all
of
good.
trying to get everything moving along. But I think we covered everything I wanted to cover. That was my questions anyway. Do you have it? Did I miss anything?
Um, I don't know. I've done so many interviews that I'm like, I don't remember what
You're right.
came where.
That's totally fine. But let's just do something real fun before we leave. You're
Okay.
stranded on a deserted island. You could take three records for eternity, assuming you've got like a solar powered whatever. What are you picking?
Fallout Boys from Under the Cork Tree, My Chemical Romance, Three Cheers for Sweet Revenge, and for my last one, I'm a little stuck between a couple. Let's see. Maybe Green Day's American Idiot.
So
Yeah.
you definitely wear your influences on your sleeve, right?
Oh yeah.
Wow,
Oh
that's
yeah.
funny. Yeah,
I
there's
have
nothing
been
out of the
listening to
wheelhouse
the
there.
same music since I was 13 years old. So
Wow, that's pretty wild. I don't know if I know. I know you didn't ask, but mine would be considerably older, so it's a little bit different. Diary of a Madman for sure, by Ozzy. Operation Mindcrime, the first one, and then maybe just for the hell of it, it's a deserted island, right? So maybe like I don't know, Bob Marley record or The
love
Wall.
it. Yeah, there you go.
The Wall's a good one too. Anyway, thank you for taking the time. I appreciate it. Hope that wasn't too bad.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad that for being such a brutal reviewer,
Right.
you guys seem to like it. So
It's funny. The name came from somewhere totally separate. Before the pandemic, for a few years, I was doing this. I used to have bands stop by the house here in Richmond, Virginia, and
oh,
cook with me. Like they'd stop in tour
wow.
buses. We've had Dave Ellefson from Megadeth. Everybody you could think of came by, and they would cook in my kitchen, just a regular old, no frills kind of kitchen. And we would just do an interview like this, but we'd make like, grandma's lima bean stew or something. And it
That's
did really
awesome.
well. And that's where Brutally Delicious came from.
Okay. Yeah,
And
yeah,
then
yeah.
then the pandemic hit and it screwed everything up. Nobody wants to ruin the tours by catching anything. So it went
Right.
away. But I still like doing this and talking to people. So I kind of pivoted to a podcast, kept the name because, people had some sort of affiliation with it. And that's where we are. So,
Yeah, well, I mean, the skull kind of made me feel like, oh no, they're going to tear this
right.
album to shreds.
No, 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 no. And we've got quite a few reviewers on staff that do that have different kind of listening vibes or whatever. So
Yeah, so thank you to Marina for my album review. I really appreciated it. Um,
absolutely. And so this is a really crazy question on the way out the door.
yeah.
Every year, um, we revive the cooking show, but we do it via remote now. So, like I
Okay.
said, we're in the middle of doing a chopped right now, where I put together like 5 or 6 ingredients. One's really strange, and then bands have been filming themselves at home for bragging rights or whatever, and then sending it back, and my team edits. If you're ever interested in doing anything like that, we can always find room.
Okay. I'll think about it. I am definitely not much of a cook.
Right. No, no worries and no pressure. But it just reminded me because that's where the name came from. But yeah, we're in the middle of still
Yeah.
doing that in a
Oh,
different
that's
sort of way,
cool.
but it's fun.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
awesome. I love
Yeah.
that. That's a great idea. That's such a cool idea. Like just like a cooking show, but with
Yeah.
Metallica or like,
Right.
you know.
And people have come in like Dave Ellefson from Megadeth. He just made coffee
Yeah.
because he's a big coffee guy. He's got his own coffee brand. So he
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
told us how to brew like 3 perfect cups of coffee using different. But who cares? It's Megadeth, right? I mean,
Right.
it's
Have you had
Megadeth making
Nico
coffee.
McBrain
I
with his
wish. No.
barbecue?
I've tried. I've been down there a few times, but I've never run into him.
Oh, well,
And
maybe get
those
on
connections,
that.
yeah, I'd love to. Maybe we just put it out in the universe because I'm pretty good in this mid-level kind of. Sometimes I peek above into the big stuff, but that's super level. I haven't gotten that far yet, I don't think. But you put it out in the universe, so
Yes, manifesting.
right on. I hope I wasn't too bad. Thank you for taking the time, and again,
Thank you
sorry for that
so
little blooper.
much.